a hemp plant that has been shown to have a variety of health benefits. CBD can help relax your mind and body, reduce inflammation, and improve sleep. It is also non-addictive and has no known side effects. If you're interested in trying CBD, check out our website at www.hypnotizeme.com. And remember, if you're not hypnotized, then you're not doing it right. That's hypnotizeme.com, www.hypnotizeme.com for our high-quality CBD products and drinks. Hypnotize Me, a sponsor of the Boss Fest podcast.
It seemed like everybody want to be a boss these days. Everybody want to be a boss till it's time to pay out, you feel me, till it's time to pay that boss cost. They ain't trying to have them tough conversations. Ain't trying to put in them extra hours, catching that windfall money, dealing with folks not being consistent. Don't get me started on the lack of sleep, but you know what they say.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right. BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. They might make you laugh, make you mad, make you cry. Either way it go, it's a vibe. Tune in, catch the topic, get the tea. Ain't no shallow waters over here, we get deep. You sensitive, easy to offend, you need to flee. But them tough conversations gonna be happening. Boss Fest Podcast, they hold it down. Wednesday, 7 Eastern, man, it's going down. Tell a friend to tell a friend and y'all gather round. Get active in the comments, don't get lost in the crowd.
Hey, what's happening? It's your man DJ Bush. I had to show love to Kevin and Edwina, Boss Fest Butlers. Y'all know what time it is, the Boss Fest Podcast. But you already know what we live in.
Boss Life, BOSSFEST, the Boss Fest Podcast. Each and every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, guaranteed to get you right.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Wednesday at the Boss Fest table. No, I don't think I am.
She not. We get into a fight with this every week because
Yeah, my sound guy be yelling at me because I'd be like, it say mute on my screen, and he like, don't touch it, don't touch it. So,
right, because they run it through one system.
Sir.
Go ahead. Restart your intro.
let me go again. That was me rewinding.
It sounds like you're running off the road.
No, you know, like the VHS tape, I ran it back. So welcome to another Wednesday.
How old are you again?
The Boss Fest Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am Edwina.
Best sound man in the industry, giving you that crystal clear, that Aquafina see-through sound. Kevin Butler. You gonna finish the rest of this, or you just gonna play with your phone?
I'm waiting for you to introduce our wonderful guest today.
That's your job.
Oh my God, it's your new job. Let's clap it up for our new guest.
They literally had a conversation about this, y'all.
Listen,
And she said she was gonna do it. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
listen. People be thinking it's me, man. She be throwing random stuff on me like that all the time. Like, hey, this what you gonna do? I'm like, what? Huh? Do your job. Do your job. Oh, you being petty.
I am, so let's go. Let's
Hey,
get
so
this party started.
me and my wife were in the building.
All right, everybody. We have coming back to the Boss Fest table. The dynamic duo that's running Polk County. You can see them in the courtroom taking care of business.
Just one of them.
Them.
Okay, both of them.
Listen, when you see one, you see
Okay, both of them.
you
of
see
Go
them.
ahead. Go
You see
ahead.
the rain, you see them. Or you can catch them
Dim. Okay.
providing the sounds of the county, giving you that DJ Sara. Hey, we in the building.
Good job.
You better not be little kid in me.
You did such a good intro.
Not like it.
No, he did so good. Like if it was a program and they were coming out, it would be hype.
You thought he was gonna do it bad. You said
I would have just been like, they're back with us again.
Right.
It would have just been drier. So I was really telling
real
you.
dry. It's almost like at Wiener Rants when you be like, hey, I'm finna rant. Yeah. Let me give you my librarian voice. I need you to rant.
Next time you feel like I should give you flowers, think back to this time when I be like, I ain't telling you good.
I won't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I already said it and you ruined it. So it's whatever.
I'm sorry.
we are.
Back in the building. So you gonna run a topic, or I gotta do that too?
Go ahead, run the topic too. Go ahead.
See, we got a very serious topic tonight, but we can't be serious because my favorite person won't allow us to be great today. Am I your favorite person?
Sure is. My favorite person's name starts with a K.
So, what is your favorite person's zodiac sign? So again, y'all know me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I be in the comments going hard for my guy. We had this conversation earlier too. She talking about you didn't think Kevin was my favorite person? Stop playing with us, man. Top 3.
He definitely is a top three.
Might ain't be in the top 10. She don't need no 10 people. I ain't even in the top 10.
You saying the MySpace you would at top 10?
I wouldn't have made the MySpace cut.
They was gonna say Kevin.
He was gonna say Kevin, just not Kevin Senior.
Let's start us off with the topic. Let's move on. Let's get into the show.
I'm ready. Yo, go.
You're supposed to be starting us off with this serious topic. That's what you started talking about.
Oh my God.
And then you started talking about your favorite person. That's what happened. I'm bringing you back.
So for those who didn't catch the last show, then when we had this lovely couple on, the sound quality wasn't the best. So that's why we had to rerun it. But we was talking about
no applications for a sound guy.
We were talking about infertility. We was definitely particularly talking about it within our own community and the struggles behind it. It's like an unknown battle that a lot of people go through and face, and you don't really know about it. So we were just kind of circling back because when we first had this conversation, because didn't somebody say they was going to do a recap?
Somebody did say that.
No, so what I said was we were going to recap. Like, and that's what you're doing.
Only one of them be in the courtroom, so only one of them supposed to get a recap. You feel me? Hey, right is right.
Are you gonna recap?
You were already doing it. So basically, I mean, you said it all. We were talking about infertility. We were talking about the journey of two couples, and we were kind of left like in suspense to see because they were in the middle of an IVF cycle and we didn't know how it turned out. So we said that we would always come back and do a part 2, which is what we're doing. But we're going to take y'all back in time for those that did not catch the first show to find out how the journey went to get you here and then what the outcome is. That's the end of the recap.
That was the end of your recap?
Yeah, because you started and I finished it. And there is a comment.
I'm sorry. Let me go to comments. Let me do my job.
So it says, so glad you are sharing your story again. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you two. My heart smiles.
See,
right? I was really thinking about, like, should I read it?
It's out there now.
Congratulations on your 2-year podcast.
Y'all can see the comment? Okay, yeah. Oh, Lord. So you guys start us off and tell us a little bit about your IVF journey, and then I'll have Kevin tell you a little bit about ours.
So we like going to recap from last show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't want to make it too long. 'Cause I want to get to this week's show, but
Okay.
basically, when I was in college, when I was like 20, I had a surgery that was not supposed to cause infertility, and the doctor did a really bad job and did not tell me that I would not be able to have kids naturally. And so after we got married, we started trying. We were trying. Well, at first we was just not trying.
We just enjoyed each other.
Yeah.
You know?
But at some point we was like, well, something might have should have happened. But now we like each other a lot. And so I ended up going to the doctor and was like, hey, can you just check everything out, make sure everything's good? And they was like, yeah, we don't really see anything, but we're gonna send you to a fertility specialist. So when they went in and started doing tests, they said the one tube that I had left was blocked. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Anatomy needs the tube to get, stuff to where it needs to be. And so he's the anatomy.
That's what it was. You was helping them.
Yeah, he's give it direct. But I'm like, okay, cool, tube, well, not cool, but the tube is blocked. And so they went in to try to unblock it. And that's when they realized that the surgery, the doctor basically sterilized me. Like, he had cut off the end of the tube, actually left the end of the tube inside of me, which was wild. And it was badly burnt. And so, like, my doctor was super mad about it, especially the fact that I didn't know about it. But ultimately, it wasn't really much we could do about it at that point. And so she went ahead and removed the tube because it was useless at that point. But our only option after that was IVF. And so she sent me to an IVF specialist. And on our fourth cycle, which we only did 2 transfers total because we ended up canceling 2 of the cycles. But on the fourth cycle,
Congratulations.
there's a baby belly
Right
under
up
this
under
big
the
hoodie.
There's
A little bush.
She's in there. Sorry, there's comment.
Pause.
Yeah, my last name is Bush, man. So, damn, my last name is Bush, comma, man. So, yeah. But yeah, I was struggling with that.
Felt like push baby.
Right.
So we went baby.
But yeah, we talked briefly in the
Still
last
funny.
one. So our first trial, that actually was crazy. It's not last. Oh, right. So our first implantation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like my mom's happy to go out. She was down for my birthday, chilling. Like, oh, she's ready to, grandbaby.
Yeah, she came in actually on the day of my test, like my blood
Oh
test.
wow.
Yeah.
And so that was
Tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was very, that was an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, they said they can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. That was an emotional roller coaster because those hormones were a
I'm
lot.
just gonna check in. Can y'all hear him now?
no, they can hear. It's
Yeah.
just I was looking at it. Like when Sarah talked, you can hear her fine. But I don't
Yeah.
know. It was a few inches closer. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So,
he had
Sound
relaxed. He
guy.
had said that.
Don't-
no, it's me. I try to draw people in.
All righty.
But yeah, it was very tough this time last year, just knowing that we tried and we did all the right steps, and it was nothing that we did for it not to be a success, and it was just the reevaluation of is this what we're going to do? Are we going to do another round of this? How's this going to work? So now that we're on the other side of this, y'all ain't seen the baby shower video. You need to go watch that.
I think we talked about last time. Like, so we did actually all 4 cycles that we did were different. So the first 2 were the same, but we ended up having to cancel the first. So the first one, I got like halfway through the cycle, my doctor was like, it just doesn't look promising. Like, we can do a transfer, but it don't look promising. I was like, nah, if it's not good, why would we waste it? And so the second one, everything looked good all the way through the transfer. But then after I came off the hormones, after it didn't work, it's like I went into like a hormone like withdrawal, like my it was just bad. Like, it almost felt like what people like describe postpartum depression. Just because the hormone dropped, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that again. And so we kind of took a little break, like 3 months, like 3 or 4 months. We took a break. And then me and my doctor had a consultation, and I was like, hey, that was bad. Let's look at like how can we do this without that happening again? And so we ended up doing a mostly natural cycle with me doing like some pills and without the injections. And that was the second time we ended up canceling because she said my estrogen was too low. So when we had the consultation after that, she was like, well, the pills that you were on were an estrogen inhibitor. And I was like, all right, well, let's do it completely then. Like, let's not do any drugs at all except for the progesterone that you need at the end to simulate pregnancy before the transfer. And so that was actually the one that ended up working, which makes sense because all the hormones and the functions in my body work right. I just don't have two. So they just had to put the embryo in my uterus and let my body do its thing. And that's the one that ended up being successful.
All natural, baby.
So yeah, we kind of did tell y'all the truth last time. We knew it was pregnant.
We was pregnant last time. You feel me? You just had to keep it real close.
Yeah, we had just found out.
Yeah.
We didn't want to,
Listen, so Edwina caught something the last episode we did. So once we wrapped up the show, I guess when y'all was getting to walk out the door, a comment was made. Edwina said, "Did you hear that?" I said, "No, I ain't hear that." You either said,
She said, let's go, you gotta go feed us.
"You either gotta go feed us or we hungry."
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mhm.
It's, well, I don't
But we were sitting here and I was like, she's pregnant right now. But yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah, we're really good at keeping it like it's funny because people who I know who I interact with regularly, but I don't really talk to them about like personal affairs. There's you pregnant? Oh man, why you ain't telling nobody? Well, yeah. So I just yeah, I think people kind of started to realize. People started to realize what their position was, like not like that, but like that.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Just like
like
the inner circle, the outer, the inner outer.
in the periphery, like you're gonna see it, like you'll see it on Facebook. Like I'm kind of the same way. Like we had discussions about this. Like we was joking, like they're gonna think our baby ugly. Because I'm not really showing photos like that. Like, yeah, like if you see my kid, it's because you seen us in person. You feel me? Like you gonna get them flying the outfit from the side or real paparazzi style, like real celebrity status, but like not on some. I think my kid is better.
you gonna be on that Tyler Perry. You just gonna
I was
start
just
back of the head.
thinking the Tyler Perry.
Yeah. So my thing is this. I know how any given day, Facebook gonna show me a picture of me doing something or saying something that I may not remember. I don't need my baby whole entire existence like archive, not for the world. I want to archive for me. Like I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures and videos. This gonna be
For you.
like instead of my people. Nope. I don't trust it.
I don't think anyone knew we were pregnant. Like when we finally were, we didn't tell a soul. I think we had to get to 12 weeks before we said we would tell anybody.
So I think we told like parents and siblings, like maybe like 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah, that second time it was just like
And then we didn't tell really nobody else. So like maybe like 16 or 17 weeks. And then we told like family and like real close friends. And then like most people didn't know till like 5.
People kind of found out from me though, like, oh, how y'all doing? And like, I was just eating. Oh yeah, you pregnant. Oh wow. And I'm
How
saying,
your
like,
day is today? We pregnant.
yeah, we pregnant, bro. We so pregnant around this thing, bro. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. Yeah. So it's like people walking around. I can talk. Like, that's so weird. I appreciate
So you want to tell them about our IVF journey? I mean, you could give like
I went through hell.
we know it's hard for you.
Whew, it was so hard for me.
I keep you in my prayers. You want to talk about it?
Like, whew, I didn't know if I was gonna make it through it.
You want to talk about it?
The hormone changes, the
You want to talk about it?
shift in attitude.
You want to tell a story?
I feel like you talk.
He not. He gonna keep doing that for a long time. I want him to go into the story.
No, brother, it's your story. Only thing I can do is add my pieces when it's time. Because you done went through it twice. So
What do you mean? Oh, okay. So I guess
I'm sorry.
I understand what you're saying. I guess I understand what you're saying. We've
You-
done a total
What,
of
Cortez
5
was saying?
IVF cycles.
5 cycles.
When we did it, there wasn't an option of like going natural. It was all, I guess, what you would call super cycle now. So it was all just full all in medication. The first cycle I ever did, I got overstimulated, so the medicine was just too much. So I know what you're talking about when you're over medicated and you feel a certain type of way and you can't fix it, so you're just stuck there. So that was my first cycle, which did get canceled because I was just too stimulated. Second cycle, we had a miscarriage. In the third cycle, we got our daughter. Similar to your story, how we found out that we needed to take the route of IVF was, I guess not really, but I was looking at a magazine and we thought we were gonna get married, but we were really young and playing. And I was like, yeah, you gotta check your credit and like you gotta get a test because it was obviously him, he's the problem. So you gotta get like the fertility test or whatnot. And I ended up doing it, and the doctor was like, it seems to be a problem. I did a dye test, and they were like, at the dye test, I went to Lakeland Regional, and I remember that day because the lady was like, you're never gonna have kids. And then the doctor was like, she was not supposed to say that to you, but she did.
The old girl was cold.
So they told me I was never gonna have
Yes,
kids. Right, like really, just I was in a funk since then. So we ended up going to the infertility specialist. We weren't married when we started our infertility journey. And then I had my tubes, what I thought were going to be repaired, but they were blocked, so they were just removed. And I went into a surgery thinking that
She ran over that.
Right. I'm surprised.
I'm surprised
She
too.
did the look.
I'm not done
She
yet.
did the look.
I thought they were going to be fixed, and then Kevin was able to make the decision to have them removed. So that's what happened to them.
So
Yeah, I feel like Kevin needs to tell his side of that story because I've heard the story from the other side.
I'm just saying, listen, so I'm in the waiting room. We done been through this process. The doctor is, and from lack of my understanding, I'm trusting what the doctor is saying. They're saying, listen, based off of what I've seen, what I've been through, it's best that we remove the tubes so that way she can have a successful IVF cycle. Because tubes look this and that, and it ain't never gonna work, and blah, blah, blah. Like we trying to, but it ain't gonna work. So I'm like, all right, man. I had to make a decision in that moment. In that moment, I made 2 decisions. One, to get your tubes removed. One, get your tubes removed. And number 2, to ensure that I'm in the process, regardless of what happened in life, I make sure you can have a child. Even though we wasn't married, I knew I had to go through the process.
I'm gonna call BS on it, but anyway,
It's not BS. Because we both did tests, and the doctor said, boy, you better not even nut on the carpet because you're gonna get the carpet pregnant. Boy, you got superstar. Don't nut on the carpet.
so did you come to?
Yeah, I come. I came.
It feels like
Yeah, I
bragging.
came.
It feels like you're bragging on this podcast.
Hey, my boy said, what? Hey, boy, don't drop it on the carpet. There's gonna be baby carpets around here. I said, all right, I won't put it on the carpet.
Little rugs
Little
around.
rugs around.
Little rugs.
I'm totally done. I don't want to tell the story no
Oh
more.
my-
I'm done.
But-
I'm done with you.
but-
Let's move on.
So that's why I knew if I made that, it was a tough decision because he looked at me for a second like I wouldn't answer him because I didn't know what the right decision was. But I knew if I made that decision, I had to see this through to the end. And I did. And you have made me suffer ever since.
I locked in.
That's why I'm not your favorite person.
Man, you went through this. There was some kicking and screaming. So, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but whatever. So, I'm going to fast forward through the thing. So, we got pregnant with our daughter on our third IVF cycle. We froze some embryos if in case we ever wanted to do it again. And I really thought that was like it. So, when the pregnancy test came, I was excited. We decided to let go of those embryos.
I'm sorry. That's my brother, bro.
We still on the baby carpet.
That boy's stupid.
Okay. All right, I'm so sorry. So you froze some embryo.
Yeah, so but we discarded them after we found out that we were pregnant with our daughter. Then a few years later,
Wait.
We
I missed that. See, you made me. So y'all, how long did y'all keep them before y'all?
like a year. We kept them for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to go to the retrieval cycle was
Really? See, I feel like I've done it. It just felt like second nature. Like I just knew the process, so it's like what you got to do. So
She was looking forward to the drugs.
that's not true at all.
Man, you go do the retrieval, like, man, I got this Tylenol 3.
That was the implementation. First of all, the retrieval is when it's a real surgery and they put me to sleep and you had to sit there. You're so far
Yeah.
removed, you don't even remember baby carpet.
it's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Kevin decided, I won't say Kevin decided, he approached me like years later and was like, I want to do it again. I want to have more than one kid. And so we made an agreement. I'll try twice. If it doesn't work after the second time, we got to dead the issue. So we went through 2 more cycles and then we had our son. And
Who happens to be your favorite
he's
person?
my favorite person.
Swell.
He's just such a sweet person. He is. But I still carry the war wounds from all of my IVF cycles. Like my back and side is just tore up from the needles and sometimes having to shoot myself because Kevin couldn't make it. The progesterone needle I felt like was like this long. So
Y'all like so usually
Yeah.
I would be like Edwina is exaggerating.
She not.
Like legit, the needle like this long and it's so thick, bro.
It's thicker than normal
And
needles.
then like you gotta like I will ask I'm not gonna do it, but like you gotta like hit him right above it, like
yeah.
the gluteus minute, bro. It's crazy. I'll be feeling so bad. I
No,
used to
but
have
you
to.
did a good job. Like, DJ did most of my progesterone. Like, the only time he didn't do it is when I was in California because I had to go see his family.
One time for Tanise, graduate from UCLA.
And
That's
that-
right.
that
That's
was-
right.
Congratulations.
But it was like doing it myself was way worse than
Mhm.
him doing it.
We watched hella YouTube videos on how you had to like top the skin. You gotta like,
Yep.
spread the skin out. I felt so bad. I was just like,
It
know,
wasn't so bad in the beginning, but like after the spot got sore,
you have to
doing
keep
it,
switching. Remember the one that you used to have to do?
them ones, they didn't hurt so bad though, but them was the ones that caused like the hormone crash.
Yeah.
But the progesterone and oil was like, it was painful because it had to go in the muscle, and it was a huge needle. Like
Yeah.
the ones in the stomach was just like the insulin needle. But like when I had to do it myself when I was in California, I didn't tell you. Like, I was making myself bleed on accident.
Yep.
And like it was, I don't know, part of it was the anticipation. Like I had to sit there and be like, Sarah, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. And so like, and I was doing it at 3 o'clock in the morning too, because the time difference. And so I had to wake up out my sleep and do it and then like convince myself to go back to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. But it was worth it though.
It is worth it, but when you're going through it, like people don't understand the process. It's a lot. It definitely is a lot. Because the same way, like I would make myself bleed trying to do it, but I didn't want to ask people for help. I felt like I was putting people out. But then once the spot gets bruised, you gotta like push through bruises, and it's a whole mind thing. And then we were heating it up, trying to make it like go in good, and yeah, it's a lot.
Water, use body parts, heat it up. I mean, yeah, because you got a couple warm zones. You feel me? You got
Right.
a few warm zones. Some have some more than others. Use a warm zone, and then
Yeah, because it's in oil, so if it's heated up, then it's not as thick.
And what people don't know is if that progesterone level drops too low, then that's like a 911 type of situation. I remember I wasn't like absorbing enough, so then I had to do suppositories too, and I was just the oily mess. Like, why are you closing your eyes? That's just a fact. And then we were going every morning at 7.
oh my god!
IVF journey was like every day, 7 a.m. you go to the clinic. So before the retrieval, it was 7 a.m. to like measure and make sure, like to tell me when it was time. Then it was checking your progesterone levels and making sure that was good. Ultrasound. It was a lot.
See, mine, it was like, as we got closer, it was like every other day. It wasn't every day. And so it wasn't as bad. But
6:15.
I think that the cycle, like going through it, I really feel like it brought the two of us together. We had the most conversations about the parents we wanted to be on those car rides to Tampa every morning. I thought we had talked about every parenting situation we would ever like get into.
We ain't really talk about nothing.
It was all, yeah.
It was all us.
But it felt good in the time. Like we thought we were going to be really good, at this parenting thing.
What? Like, man, we finna kill this parent and shit. Look around like, what?
Yeah, man. I don't
Well, I don't even know how some. Boy, I look at these kids now like, what? Y'all survived us. But I had a question, but
But I'm gonna give you your flowers. I will say, before like our kids now can put on shoes and like fend for themselves. Before that point, Kevin was a excellent like father. He did.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, 'cause that sounded
Why you giving me
backhanded.
early flowers
That
for?
sounded super backhanded.
Because right now I'd be like, did they eat? And you be like, I don't know. They fix a sandwich or something. But before,
Because they old enough to fend for
but I still
themselves.
make sure that's why I said before they can put on shoes and like handle it
You
themselves.
sound
Like
like
now,
this man was estranged. Like, you're like, what? This is a podcast.
No.
over. He about to go to his other like house or something like before.
I mean, but I feel like there's a part of this house that's like his other house, and we don't really see him. But he did like the chest on chest, like the skin to skin. He did all of that. He woke up. I never woke up at night. He did that. Yeah, like he was really in every IVF appointment I went to, whether it was just checking my blood or anything, he went. So I could have been doing just a P test, and Kevin was driving to Tampa. So I'm just saying, in those moments, you were there, you were present. In the moment you saw your daughter and like you looked at her, you were a whole different type of person.
So yeah, can we talk about this for a second?
Let's go.
Like people, oh yeah, we have this girl. Yeah, surprise. So her name is Anaya. Her middle name is Denise. My mom's middle name is Denise. So I had to pass that along. So I keep hearing this thing. Like, oh man, you gonna have a girl, man, your whole life it's gonna be different. Man, you'll never experience a love like that type of love. Y'all clearly have no idea the love experience right here. You feel me? You feel me?
That was so sweet.
That's real. So I just part of me feel like it's cap that like this little kid is gonna come in and change my whole world. But another part is so many people have said it can't be a lie. So
Because you don't feel like you can love anybody any more than you already.
well I know I mean because like this person depends on me. So like there's a whole another level of like responsibility.
That's what it is.
Nah, it's different.
I don't know.
It's
We'll see.
you will. The moment that baby cry, and you realize how fragile life is, and you got to take care of it. And this child is going to look to you to be the example for every man that she sees. It hits different. So for me, like I was in the same way, like, man, I don't know. We're gonna see. The moment that little girl cried, I'm gonna and yeah, I'm all in the mama.
You get to see that.
She here, mama. My mama like, boy, quit crying.
Like,
I can't
That
stop
happened
it.
for real?
Yeah, like she can't stop it.
Interesting. You
I got it all out. Because I
I'm
knew
gonna
when
ask
you
your mama
woke
about
up, you
you.
was gonna be hating. Had to get all that out. But no, it hit different. And I think what it was the realization that all the work we went through, because this IVF process is different than normal conception. So you get to see this process so early. From the worries to, like I said, we had you was overstimulated the first cycle, you had a miscarriage the second cycle, the third cycle, it was like, is the baby gonna stay? What are gonna do? What are gonna do? Then the baby stuck, and it was like, okay, let's make sure. Then we had to rush it to the hospital because
yeah, they thought she wasn't gonna make it.
right. So it was just always it was something. So
yeah, for her to actually be
right.
there,
So
yeah.
for her to be here and hear that crowd, like this little girl, she's 9 pounds under some ounces, and
I think she was 7 pounds, bro.
I think that was KJ.
They both were 7 pounds.
Some pounds. The baby's
Baby about a pound in this thing.
baby was some pounds. But hey, I'm gonna fact check that. I don't believe that was true.
I mean, it's the baby book upstairs. Just look at it.
I will. But once that child enters into this world, it's something different. And because I got to experience it first, because of the process we went through, you know, she had to have a C-section and she was knocked out. So child cried. I do this, then it went to mom. Yeah. She knocked out. She didn't get it, which is sad within itself. But we wanted to make sure the baby was here. Yeah. It just hit different, and it will hit you differently. And you're gonna look at people differently. People who've had babies before holding your baby, you're gonna just stare at them like, I'll be blanking. I'm like, baby, you touching my baby too wrong. Did you
That is the thing. Kevin would not let anybody touch his child. Like,
Oh yeah,
at
Mark.
all.
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not saying nobody can touch her. Like,
nobody.
I don't know. I'm already like that now. Like she'll tell you, like it's been a few times since we've been here that she didn't. I'm like, you good? You good? Like I'm super vigilant. I think that's probably the best word to
Any
use.
noise in the house. You all right? You all right?
You
What you
good?
doing?
What's happening? Yeah. Because if I don't hear nothing, like if I don't get an answer, like for example, yesterday at the Boss Fest board meeting, when you were like, "Oh, I did this thing. I feel like y'all appreciate what I did." Like almost like right after you did it, I'm like that. If I don't hear something, if I don't get a response immediately to my question, I'm coming around to be like, "Hey, you good? You okay?" Yeah, like so I know I'm gonna be like on 22 with a little person. I don't know, like I'm not like scared. I was scared, but I think the first round, our first attempt that was unsuccessful, kind of alleviated all the fear. Now I'm just like, I'm ready, but I'm not rushing because I'm trying to enjoy all of
I
it.
got
too
a
much.
question. So the first cycle that was unsuccessful, like, did it not take, or was there like a problem or something?
I mean, well, I mean the embryo just didn't stick. Like,
So the pregnancy test was negative.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking.
Yeah.
Oh, good question.
Thank you.
So my question is, I remember it.
Okay, good job. Come on.
So I know when we started this process, we was in our early to mid 20s. We know you just celebrated your 40th birthday. I ain't gonna ask the lady her age.
She's not full.
All I'm saying is that I didn't know. I didn't know if
Got me a young thing. You feel me? Got me a young thing.
Try to throw shots. Ask your question, sir.
So after this process, do y'all see you going through this again?
We'll probably do one more. He asked me at one point how many babies. I told him he's a good man. So if he want me to have 100, I have 100.
And I was like, Brad, like,
But I knew he didn't want me to have 100, so it's easy to say that.
Some people that ain't trying to populate.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I already knew you weren't.
Not
So, like I said, it was easy to say that because I knew that was but no, we have what 5 more embryos, 4 or 5.
yes.
But we'll probably just
We figure we're gonna
we're gonna do one at a time and we'll see how that
Yeah. People was tripping talking about wishing twins and all type of crazy stuff. Like, I don't say that. I don't say that.
You didn't want twins?
Hell no. No.
I wanted them so
No.
bad.
Why would I want like one
That's
kid
a
is
lot.
already a life
It
changer.
is, but
I plan on nursing.
Both?
That's a lot.
see, I didn't think about that, which I nursed too, but I was just thinking I don't got to do another IVF cycle. So I got 2 in one shot.
Well, you know, I think for me it's a little
Yeah,
different
yeah.
because the natural cycle was like, so I don't think we talked that much last time about the natural cycle, but the natural cycle was like, I was almost like mad at my doctor for doing the super cycle at first because the natural cycle was like a 2.5, 3 week cycle. I didn't do any meds at all except for the progesterone and oil the last week. And then of course I had to keep going through the transfer. But literally the progesterone and oil is the only med I did, and I did that through 12 weeks pregnant. But it was like I literally just went about my regular life.
I feel jealous. This sounds crazy.
Yeah, like I literally just went about my regular life. That they measured my lining every couple of days, and it was like, "All right, you good? You know, it's doing what it's supposed to do."
Wow.
And so, 5 days before the transfer, I started progesterone and oil. They did the transfer.
And you had already done the retrieval, so this was a frozen embryo.
Yeah. So, and we had already done genetic testing, so we knew the embryo was good, you know. And so it was just,
And if people don't know, they get grades too, like the
Yeah.
embryo.
Yeah.
So you know, like this is A1 quality embryo.
And
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like,
you-
for those of y'all who
it's
don't
like
know,
you get a list.
yeah, you get you get a spreadsheet. You get an Excel spreadsheet with numbers, and then it's just like the number of the egg, or number of the embryo, what the gender. For us, we were carriers for sickle cell. That's why we had to do genetic testing. They want to see whether or not we were gonna have kids with sickle cell, what have you. So whether or not they had it, they were carriers, or they didn't have it, or if they didn't have enough genetic material in the embryo to like tell you. Now that's
And then like some of the embryos, like they were, I don't remember if it was the euclid or like whatever, but like some of them they say like you don't transfer those period because they cannot end in pregnancy. Like the embryo just won't develop.
yeah.
And so we ended up with
We was in double digits.
yeah, they pulled 25 eggs. We ended up with 15 that got tested. And like with like 6 or 7 that were
Which are good numbers. We, because we're so old school, we didn't know gender, and they did testing on us, so our embryos didn't go through testing, but they did get graded. Each day we would get a call, like when the cells would divide on what was, you know, still considered A, B,
wow.
and so on. That's how it worked for us. So y'all knew y'all were having a girl the moment, yeah.
Day one.
Yeah. So we actually told them we didn't want to know the genders, but it was in the script. So
It was like right next to the number.
it was kind of
I
hard
was
not
so
to say.
mad. I was so mad.
Really?
Yeah, cause not mad, not at the gender. I don't want people to- Yeah, what's wrong? with him?
boy, man,
he
had a girl.
No, definitely not that. I was mad that we didn't get some time before we found out. The IVF process is so clinical. It like
Ain't really no surprise.
yeah, like birth is a magical thing. You know what I'm saying? Like having a baby is a magical thing, and I feel like the only magic we get is like her in labor. Which I mean, no discount to that. Shout out. Because I'm not built no few horses over here. You feel me? But like I wanted to find out at some is this boy is the girl? Is no. So when people like, oh, you might have a boy, I might not. What you, they're like, well, what you want? I just want to help you, baby. That's all I ever told people.
You might as well just say, I want a girl, because you knew that's what you were having.
Because then I don't want people to I don't.
Because it wasn't a preference thing. We
Yeah.
we literally chose the healthiest embryos, like the ones that were most likely.
It was all girls. Like the healthiest ones was the girls. It was like the boy.
It's just gonna happen for them.
Yeah, you might have sickle cell, pimp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be a carrier, my dude. Like it's all right.
So the difference, I felt like for me, when I left like my infertility clinic and then I went to like regular life, it was a big difference for me. Did y'all feel that too? Like,
It was a little. I don't know, but it was a little weird for me because I kind of got used to going to the doctor every day. It's better. Because you get used to going to the doctor all the time, and then like my doctor's office was real like close like that. I felt like my doctor was just as invested in me getting pregnant as I was. And so
Shout out to Dr. Patel.
yeah, beautiful. But like I dealt with the same doctors, same nurses all the time, and so it was
it's okay, just rest. I'm like, rest? No, that's not an answer. So it definitely
is,
felt very different to me to switch. That's why I was asking.
see. I think it definitely was a different for me in terms of the switch, but I don't do an OB because we're having a home birth, so I have a midwife. So it's just like I can text her, call her. Like it's not a difference between going from like a family environment to like a feeling like a number. It's just I guess the frequency of the visits is more different. Um, but I still like I don't feel like, oh, I'm just a number. Like you know who I am. She know all my stuff. You know.
See,
And so I ain't complaining about not having.
No. We just gonna have to be in there right at 8. That's all that means.
sound guy.
Ain't about the sound.
It is because it's also his job to charge the equipment. That's part of the sound guy job description.
We just take
Sound guys for sound.
Listen, man, she be at me.
And DJ done left the podcast.
I do my best.
So I want to say I hated being pregnant, but how is your pregnancy going?
Oh, it's great. I sometimes I feel bad talking about it in front of people because like it's a lot of people like, oh, I had morning sickness or I was hurting so much. I ain't really had none of that. Like
That's good.
literally have not like had any more sickness, haven't thrown up not once. I had like a little bit of queasiness in the beginning, but like not nothing to speak of. Um, every once in a while, like she'll knee me or elbow me somewhere, but and not no real pain. My feet be swelling up. But it's been just
That's good. I feel like I shouldn't even say good. That's amazing because I went through it more the second time with the boy than I did the first time with the girl.
I don't know. I just think it was all The second time was definitely rough for you. Like, and you got to go find people, find people with the same blood type. That's just
I had a donor list with my son. So like the placenta, like he was sitting on top of it. So the bigger he grew, they were like it was going to detach. So if I kept going through the pregnancy, then there was like some risk if I bled out. So I spent most of that pregnancy on bed rest. But they thought he had heart problems. It was just so much stuff. And I was like, ugh, pregnancy sucks. But yeah, I did. I had a donor list so that people would come and give blood if we needed it.
Oh, wow.
We didn't have to use it, thank God. The more he grew, the placenta sort of shift, and then he was just okay. But I want to ask the men in the room from the men's side, because I do talk to people who personally like tell me their IVF journey, and a lot of women feel like they do the journey alone. And then if we feel like we do it alone, husbands really don't have an outlet. You know what I mean? Like there's not like a boy group talking about, oh, we went through this. So from your perspective, how do you guys feel about the IVF journey?
Oh, I'm about to say, I guess I'm the guest, so I'll go first. So it's interesting because, like, I remember like Bebe's kids, right? Like Robin Harris, the whole test tube baby, like that was like a derogatory ass term, right? So IVF essentially, like in vitro fertilization is like you fertilize a baby in glass, legit. You having a test tube baby, like so. Like for me, that kind of like is the first thing that hits. Is like, damn, we've come such a long way that this process used to be seen as a joke and derogatory, but like unfortunately, so many people have to do it. Like when we pull up to the fertility clinic and like we there first appointment in the morning and the parking lot is on smash already. It's just like, damn, you don't realize how big of an issue it is until you're going through it. I find that now that I'm going through it, like I talk about what I go through. It don't bother me none. So like I got a homeboy who him and his wife are trying to go about it. And he was asking me questions. I was like, oh yeah, man. I gave him the wrong name of the fertility clinic. I had to come back and give him the right name because I called it the wrong thing. But like we can talk, you know what I'm saying? Like I know I didn't have anybody to talk to about it before, but now that I'm going through it, it's like, hey, if you need somebody to talk to, holler at me. I'll let you know what I know. Because we need that camaraderie. I assume that it's different now because it's so much more common. I assume that that's probably a different feeling for you, Kev, because it was a while ago. I don't say like a while ago like that.
It was a while ago.
was a
Our daughter
while.
is 17.
In
so-
terms of like how far IVF is early.
So for me, it was almost annoying. Like because people didn't really understand the process. And what I would get I would get a whole bunch of if God meant for y'all to have this, he gonna get this, he gonna bless you with this. So
pray,
like the doctors ain't always right and da 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 da. So when God sees fit to give it to you, then he gonna give it to you. Just keep praying. And for me, I believe in God, but my religious switch is, bro, I'm only gonna give you so much before I show you a little bit of my devil.
right, lived experience.
Right. So I'm like, listen, man, my situation's different. I don't necessarily want you to guide me through this. I just need somebody I can be like a sounding board because there was no one to talk to. There was no other men that I could say, oh man, let me talk to you. Even when we was going through the process and they like put you in the group of like I remember we showed up for like this group session of infertility people. We walked in the room. First off, we'd only black people in the room. Then next thing you know, we the youngest people in the room. People like they looking at them. So you looking at 40-year-old white women and middle-aged white couple. They looking back at us like, why are they here?
And then their perception of black people, we're supposed to be so sexualized.
Right. So it was already that type of energy and stuff. And I feel like sometimes even we be sitting in the waiting room, people like, man, why are y'all here? And for me, it was like it was only her. And it was trying to keep her in the game because the process was like very gruesome, but I didn't have a sound. So I'm glad that people who are going through it, that I can tell my story to, and they'll ask me questions. I'm glad now that I can be that, hey man, you're not alone. It's okay. This is what I did to cope with it. Man, you need something to drink. Let's go get some. Listen, whatever we got to do to get through this, to help you get through this together. There's no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, if God meant for you to have it, then he going to bless you. And you just go to your pastor and pray. Let him put hands on the woman's stomach. And want the pastor fuck more little.
Right,
like,
right.
Like, bro,
Yeah, like, why are you
come
trying
on,
to
what you
impregnate?
trying to?
Bro, I used to tell people, like, stop trying to impregnate my wife. Then feel so uncomfortable. Just like, bro, get out of there. Like, just get out of there.
Sometimes you just want to just listen and not just try to find an answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need somebody to just talk. I don't need the answer. I just need to be able to get it off my chest. And it wasn't up. So I'm glad now that it's better for men now. I'm glad that even as a community, we're now being more aware of this thing that's impacting us. And like say, hey, there's a lot of couples out there who are dealing with more and more infertility things. And who knows what the true root cause is. Your situation different from Edwina's. And right, but food might be just killing us all. Well, it is killing us, but it's a wild situation. Okay. You got about maybe 5%. I figured that, which means you got about 2%. So what other last questions you got before you like?
If you missed it, be sure to check out the baby shower video. We did celebrate our baby shower on 11/12/23. 11 plus 12 equals 23. It does. I'm very glad that we were able to do that. So, yeah, like we were super.
Was that intentional? Or that was just
I was gonna ask that.
Like it wasn't initially, but like when dates equal like that, like those are always perfect days for me. So yeah. It just happened.
You were just like, whatever.
No, we did. Well, we ended up doing his birthday party and the baby shower back to back because his family was flying in from California and y'all seen them airline tickets collectively, you know how expensive they are.
Right.
And so we
One
wanted
flight.
them to be able to celebrate both without having to get another job. And so we did them both back to back, and it was the weekend before his birthday. So. Okay.
If y'all support and y'all love us, we appreciate it most definitely.
I feel like I want to charge this iPad.
If you want to, you know,
It's almost what is it?
if you want to show some love to the registry, I'll drop it in the comments. Feel free.
Listen, let's be real. Listen, yeah, follow the registry. Don't bring them none of them diapers they don't want.
Don't do that.
I'm
Don't
gonna do that. This is my people. Let me be the bad guy. I don't mind being the bad guy. There it is. So
Very sensitive.
don't be bringing them Dollar Tree diapers. How about some? I looked out. No, you didn't.
I was gonna say I
It
don't
must
know
be
if the
like-
Dollar Tree
it's
have
like 2 in a
diapers.
pack. You get like two pack.
It is just like a couple. I think that's
you
for
get
like
0 to 3.
you know you forgot to read the baby bag. I got. It was just in the middle.
Go ahead. Close that because I can't charge them. I can't charge
Why
that.
you can't charge it?
Because it's a process, man. I have to unplug this and clip that. It's just too much work, bruh.
I gotta go to put in the applications for the sound guy again.
I made my hour deadline.
Man, it's just too much. So since Kevin is forcing us to wrap up, because I feel like I had like another.
The iPad is forcing us to wrap up.
iPad is
meaning
forcing.
it's Kevin.
You want
Hurry up, run it.
I want to know, have you guys made like a parenting plan? Like, and what I mean specifically is I think Kevin and I are very overly protective, or maybe we have just tried to give our kids like everything that we didn't have, good or bad. We just tried to do that.
Oh, it don't fuck them up. They so damn spoiled.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So we wanted to know like if you guys have.
They
talked
ain't
about
get
that.
shit.
I I say more of a
Nothing
parenting
struggle.
philosophy than a parenting plan. Like we definitely, our child is gonna be well loved and she's gonna have everything she needs and a lot of stuff she wants, but we value
Hard
also
work.
her being able to do the same thing that we did. Like we both grew up with not a whole lot of material things, and we learned how to provide for ourselves. And so we want to make sure that we raise a child that can be independent by the time that it's time for her to be independent. Like we don't want her to be like, oh, I expect
know
stuff to
what
be
that
handed to
mean?
me because stuff has always been handed to me. So she gonna know how to work. She gonna
She will work.
and then I think also we both value like education, intelligence, and independence. So like we want to do like a Montessori type philosophy and allow her to self-teach in a lot of ways and give her access to her own intelligence so that she can figure out who she is as a person. I know for me it's really important to allow her to be herself, not whatever projected image that I have for her to be. Like I really believe that she has her own purpose outside of us that she's going to be put in this world for, and I will not be the person that stand in the way.
But we also not going like. I know some people hear that and feel like, oh, they're gonna have this little free spirit. She's gonna be running the house. This little kid will not be running my
No,
damn
we
house.
definitely believe in structure.
Trust and believe. Trust and believe. And for all y'all out there who keep telling me this little girl is gonna be, I'm gonna be wrapped around her finger.
You will.
I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all. Read between the lines. My history teacher told me.
I feel like their parenting, I guess,
We real old
so-called
school.
plan. I feel like it's gonna go out the window.
Oh, it's going straight out the window.
Like
And we
I
gonna
hear it,
watch
and I was
this
like, it sounds
process.
good.
We
No,
gonna
I
be here to
mean,
witness
I
it.
don't know. Like so when my niece was born, like when she was 2, my sister had a stroke. I became almost basically a parent at 16 because I was living with my sister at the time. And this is a lot of the philosophy I had with helping raise my niece. My niece is about to be 21. Oh my
Right.
God.
Crazy.
And
So that's the one that was crying at the baby shower.
yeah. I love you. But no, that's very much the same philosophy. I mean, obviously, I was younger; I didn't have as many resources then, but it has been a very successful philosophy. Like I just ran into somebody today who was like, "Oh, I didn't know that was your niece. She's very respectful. She's so smart. You know, she's in college. She works. She, all that stuff. So she high maintenance, but she knows she got to take care of her own maintenance too. And so it's not untested."
Fair enough. Were you gonna ask any last questions?
Nope.
It just made me think about you. I think the person that we raised is kind of like that, but then on the other hand, there's definitely a lot of things we let slide and we let them have. That typically, I think if we wouldn't have gone through this process, probably wouldn't have been. What
See, I'm not using this process to like, she don't get no extra shit bonus because she was an IVF baby. Like, I don't mean shit to me.
See, it means everything to me.
Fuck, nah, fuck all that. No, because
My daughter couldn't go outside. Like
what? My
Nah,
little
that
girl,
ain't-
no, she's
nah,
going
that-
outside. Her little feet gonna get dirty.
Yeah.
She gonna
she
have a
could if
scrape
her
at
dad
the
was like right there, but I was afraid of like the neighborhood, and I was a parent looking to see like the predators that were closed. I was just doing the most.
I'm not tripping.
Never
You're right. I'm not tripping. I'm
I
not tripping off of
just-
none of that.
She couldn't go to nobody's house.
Well, so
She
like,
still can't even go to nobody's house.
I see us being at the house that other kids come
Yes,
to.
that's what we are.
But that ain't got nothing to do with her being an IVF baby. That's just, one, that's how I was raised. But
Yeah.
two, I don't know. In my line of work, you really realize how you can't. And so that don't have nothing to do with IVF for me. That's just my parenting philosophy. Like you give them a little bit more freedom as they get
progress.
older,
Yeah.
but it's still your job. You know,
For
it ain't
me,
got nothing to do with
Feel
spoiling. You know,
like I don't know. I teach high school, so I feel like I get the I see what happens when with certain parenting styles, or like I see the end result or like the fruit of that labor,
Mhm.
and I'm like, yep, won't be doing this, won't be doing that, won't be doing this. Hell no to this. Oh yeah, so high school makes it easy for me, and like I purposely saved my energy for like I didn't work with little kids. I don't like little kids.
Yeah, me
They're
neither.
annoying. But like my little kid,
It's
that,
different.
that's she gonna be annoying, but she's my little kid. That's different. But that
Mhm.
don't mean she can like be disrespectful. We're not having it.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. I'm disrespectful. I
Yeah.
get a kid.
She not having a phone. Like she's not gonna drink like juice. I'm so serious,
Yeah,
bruh.
don't do that.
So serious. She a
Like
cell
she,
phone.
like she can have like juice that came out of some fruit.
Yeah, but
I ain't
like
talking about that piece. I'm
the
talking
cell
about
phone.
technology piece.
Not for
No,
at
cell-
least a few years. Like no.
Man, these baby got iPad.
That's because they people be with the iPads and they
Have
phone all
y'all
the time.
seen what kids do when you take away them devices after they used to have them? No.
They be straight dope fiend, and I don't want that. Yeah,
My kids weren't like that. So,
but they
What?
went. That wasn't the norm. It's
Yeah,
the norm.
and
now.
the
My
technology is
son got
different
iPad at
now.
6 months.
But the technology is way different now. Like we've done a lot of research into the technologies that they use to literally they hire psychologists and psychiatrists to make kids addicted to the technology. And that like when a child's brain is being formulated and you introduce that, like they literally like I work with people who have addictions every day. And they literally have the same response as people who are addicted to hard
Right.
drugs. And
Wow.
yeah, we're not doing that.
We're
to our
not
child.
playing them games. Like
I think
reading.
we were parents in our 20s, when we did IVF. I definitely think we would do things differently. We're older now and we know a little bit more. And so I think that's a plus for you guys because you've had a chance to
Yeah.
experience life and like
What? You ready to give me my third one?
there's you're funny, but that's completely impossible at this point. I threw all those organs away.
Yes.
So, but I do think we would be different if we would have done it later. Although I'm very happy if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like I kind of go back and forth about it. I be doing the math. I tell people this all the time. Like by the time she graduated high school, I'm
You gonna
like,
be pawpaw.
yeah, I'll be like 58. So like I'm already knowing like her friends can be like, hey, your granddad hella cool. And she needs to know to check their little ass. And be like,
a granddad.
that's your
at
dad.
58.
Oh, iPad.
I knew it was gonna be
And like, nah, that's your dad. Like, my dad
No, I
is
still
where it's
see.
at.
Oh, okay.
So like I don't
Well,
know.
I was born when my dad was 40, so like to me, it's not that it's
My dad
normal.
was that
Yeah.
age too, and no one knew any different.
Yeah. I'm making sure I'm gonna stay active. You feel me? Like that's definitely a part of the game. Being healthy, being financially sound, those are like my two goals. I think this is gonna help me stay youthful. I feel like a lot of people are kind of in their mind, they feel like they don't want to have kids when they're older because you have your kids when you're younger. That way you can still have some adult life to enjoy and do whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like everything that I personally wanted to do, I did. Like I'm kind of boring. Low key, like I do exciting stuff because I get paid to do exciting stuff. I don't pay to do exciting
See, like for me, the age thing is so interesting because like people in my family live to be like, oh, like I just went to see my 91-year-old auntie today. But I remember my grandma, like I was talking to her one day on the phone, and she was 90 at the time, and she was like, "Oh, when I get old, remind me of something." And I was like,
Okay.
duly noted, because like she was very,
Driving for a lot of them.
yeah, my grandma was very adamant, like old is a mindset, and so I got that example my whole life because my grandparents was in their 60s when I was a kid, and so it never being old never felt like a burden or a bad thing to me. It was just like if you live to be 70, 80, 90 years old, that's a blessing. And so like and then my people wasn't like in a wheelchair for the last 10 years of their life. They weren't stuck on the couch or stuck in a, rocking
Right.
chair. Like they was active in their 80s and 90s. And so that's the example to me. Like you keep moving, go run on the soccer field with her, all that type of stuff. So I ain't really worried about being older as a parent. What I was worried about with the prospect of being a younger parent was finances of kids.
Preach.
So we are in a much better position than we would have been. We had kids with our
I guess we
Man.
can speak to that because we spent all of our dollars on IVF. when we were younger. We got together at 19. We slept on the floor for a while, like just trying to like build up. And then when we decided to do IVF, although I had found like a job because the nurse was like, find a job that'll help you pay for it. So that was like our in to doing it. But we still spent all the coins, medication, co-pays. So we were struggling. We struggled a lot.
We did struggle a lot, and honestly, the process behind it was it's crazy because when you think about the struggle, none of that even mattered. But you think about how much money we had to spend for medication and stuff. We regular people. Like, I got kicked out of college, so I had to go get a regular job, and I had to rush between lunch breaks to give injections and shots and all this stuff. Man, it was crazy, and bro, we made it.
Yeah, our bedroom was like a little hospital room for a little bit. Sharps containers and
it was.
We still got shark containers in the house, but
it was a lot.
I'm gonna take them over.
Yeah, I think that's a testament. Like, I don't know if people understand how much of a sacrifice it is to go. Because it's like some people get pregnant, however, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't even be trying, they can have a baby and then they be shit parents. And that make me mad. Because it's like you got people who want to be good parents who can't. You know what I'm saying? Who can't put up 5 figures to damn near 6 when it's all said and done to be able to have a baby. Like, so I'm grateful for the position that we're in. I'm glad that we can afford to do it. Like, not only financially, these sinuses in my bag, but just to be have the emotional wherewithal to be like, all right, I know that this is the best decision, regardless to what the ticket. This is what we want, and this is what. Like, we had a conversation. If this don't work, our life is good. Like, we can be straight. Like, when she came to me and was like, "Hey, if this don't happen again, I don't want to keep trying. Like, I'm good. Like, our life is great. I don't want to mess up what we have, trying to bring in something that we don't have." And it was like, I think once we made that mental sacrifice, God, okay, we good.
I think that's pretty amazing because I didn't want to marry Kevin until I knew that I could have his kid. So we kind of like put things on hold to
She
make it
would
past
not.
this thing.
I proposed to her while giving her an injection.
Oh wow.
I don't know if
Wow.
that's what happened. I don't
Wow.
remember that.
It was I think it was like a
It
Valentine's,
was Valentine's Day.
and we was doing injections.
Remember the day though.
Mhm.
I remember he proposed on Valentine's Day. I don't
But I
remember
can't.
the
But I
fact that he was giving me an injection.
So there's no reason for me to come home from work
Other than
at
the injection.
lunchtime except for injection. So
Okay.
injection. Happy Valentine's Day proposal. And I was like, man, and I wanted to let you know, man, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm with you, babe. This has been a journey. This IVF process has been hell on both of us, but I definitely see the stress it put you through. I want you to know, regardless, I want you. And you was like, yeah, but we got to make sure I get you the baby first. I ain't got to be on me. Looking over my shoulder, you telling me you wanted X amount of kids, and all of a sudden I got this random bitch down the corner talking about some she had
got
your
a kid,
baby.
yeah.
Because you know I can nut on the carpet. Had a little carpet.
All
baby.
right.
Oh,
Damn.
skeet.
Carpet, baby. Okay, so I guess I do. I remember that piece of it. I just didn't remember the injection part.
I'm just saying. But you know what I really dislike about going through IVF? And it's not really the process itself. It's like sometimes the sensitive ass people who know you went through this, who say dumb shit like, man, I'm abortion.
That's
We
not
over
what you're
here
finna do
struggling,
tonight.
No, I'm just saying, like,
That is not what you're finna do tonight.
what? No, I have cats at work, man. But they'll be like, man, why you going back and why you going
real.
back and that's difficult. See the comments be throwing me off. Listen, the comment be throwing me off. I be trying to stay focused. But
Somebody told me they was having work.
Right.
Yeah,
Like he
yeah,
was
yeah.
wrapping up. He done start a whole new conversation
well,
over here.
we got a new camera now, so we good.
Like,
They just got to hear my voice. They don't got to see me.
I think for me, what got me the most with IVF, it's just people's ignorance, and not just that they're ignorant, like they're being insensitive, like they're really
literally just
trying.
don't know.
They just don't understand. Like we went on a cruise, and I had a family member who was like, "Oh, well, y'all getting a suite? Oh man, y'all gonna come back with a baby?" Like, bruh,
You know I don't have to. Like you know I don't have
we
to.
have to do IVF.
Like-
like literally, we can be
That dumb shit
like
right there.
we can be on the stage during a little couples thing and just get it in. It's not gonna happen. Like it's just that's not, and
That's not what we do.
you don't no, I wish, yeah, right. No, it's not at all. I just could and it still wouldn't work. It's not. But it's interesting how people don't seem to understand that like I can't get pregnant through conventional means.
Or like the people at like even
not
just
a
at his
mood
birthday
thing.
party a couple weeks ago, we was dancing and people like, oh, that's how y'all got like this now.
Y'all
It's
gonna
like,
get another one. Mm.
Yeah, I
it's-
think they
it's
just say
not.
things just to, it sounds good.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah.
They ain't even thinking about it because they hadn't had to go through it. So it's like a muscle memory.
This is what you say to other people. So
Right.
this is what you
See,
say to
those are the comments. Like, I was okay with that kind of stuff, but the like, when are y'all gonna have a kid? Like, don't keep asking me when we're gonna have a kid. The abortion thing is really like a touchy subject for me. And then like when we lost the pregnancy, like so when y'all gonna try again? Like,
Like,
chill
get
out.
out my face. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So like
yeah.
those were like the worst pieces for me. I think I spoke about this on the last show. Like if I had a friend who needed like a ride, she was, getting something done. Like if I take myself out to support you, people need to know like that's real support. That's
Yeah.
hard for me. That's hard for me. Now my kids are even like older because I remember what I wanted so bad and couldn't have, but I'm here standing beside you. And it's just so easy for
Right.
me. So those things are still hard. But that's why I was like, Kevin, don't go there with me today. But there were definitely like a couple different instances where people are very insensitive because you're talking to me about your struggle, not knowing that we just went through something traumatic, or even if you do know, like, stop talking to me. Like for real.
Especially if you know. Hell, if
Right.
if you know, you should understand.
And they don't. I used to have to be like, I'm going through IVF, and I'm like, what? Man, you got to watch a Lifetime movie with the white lady who got that. Like, what? Just forget it. Because there was no like examples in our community
Yeah.
of what it was, and people were just like, I don't know. I even remember talking to Kevin's mom, like, yeah, we're gonna do. She's like, I don't know, just tell me when we're gonna have a grandbaby. And I'm like, all right.
Like we don't know. Like
Yeah.
literally,
Right,
like,
right.
I don't know.
And like because people didn't know, it was also like they didn't want to understand either. So it was just like hands off. Like I just tell you when my stomach get big, I guess I'll clue you in. But yeah, it's definitely hard.
I will say that now that we are pregnant, it's interesting because like we did this weight loss journey before we did this IVF journey. So up until like 3 weeks ago, most people had no idea she was pregnant. Like, look at her. If you look at her straight on, you'd be like, okay. You look at her from the side, oh wait, what's going on there? Like, but now you look at her from the side, it's like, okay, it's a baby in there, I think, right? Because there are some people who look as if they're expecting for various reasons. So, like, I always be trying not to be insensitive. I see, like, I notice it more too. Like, you can really tell more. Like, this can't really. Some people just don't know what their stomach got going on. But I think it's fascinating now that people are just now we're at the normal stage of pregnancy, so the whole insensitivity is like out the window. Oh yeah, you're pregnant. Okay, cool. Like if we said IVF, nobody would ever think the wiser. That's such an odd thing to me. Like this whole, we have to go through this particular way to have a baby that people don't seem to understand. But once this baby is here, like
Now you're in the normal crew.
Yeah, now
Mhm.
you're normal. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, such a bizarre.
But I feel
concept.
like that's because people like have this expectation of like this life pattern. You're supposed to find somebody and then you're supposed to get married and then you're supposed to have babies. And they like have this expectation for how you live your life. And so when you're not meeting that expectation, I don't even think a lot of people realize consciously that it's real disrespectful for like people to put that expectation. Like people, we was married for 6 years before I got pregnant. And so people like, oh, when y'all having a baby? When we get ready to.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's
Like,
why it's like we practicing and then they get awkward. It's
Yeah.
like
yeah,
you
the
asked.
question was awkward for me.
Right.
So now we're
Yeah.
I know we didn't think about it as
I
well.
wish I had insight I had. Now I would say a whole bunch of crazy shit to people.
I don't feel like I said crazy stuff. I just felt like the way that it felt awkward for them to ask me the
I'm
question.
returning it.
I have the way with words that I can make them mirror that feeling to kind of cut that situation off with like one comment. And so
That's what's
Yeah, I think that's
That
very
was
clever
interesting.
because I think we just got in our
Exactly.
feelings about.
I about to say, yeah, they just changed colors. I mean, I ain't know.
no, you good. It's coming back.
Yeah, I'm watching it go in and out. So I guess as we wrap this up, I'm gonna leave y'all like with this. I'm gonna say because all our stuff is just having technical difficulties.
Brett, they can still hear you though.
I know that's why I'm gonna
Definitely,
leave them
okay.
with this.
Nope.
So I'm entering my cry girl phase. So if I'm crying at some point, y'all just know I still feel like all those emotions, not thinking that I was gonna ever be a mom, and like graduation's coming. So I feel like really emotional about being able to go through those things with her. Now her getting to leave. And every time we take a little step, like when my son went from elementary school to middle school, it was like, oh my God, because I never thought we were going to be able to have those moments. So I feel like we're different people because of our kids. Like we
Yeah.
get to experience those things with them. I don't even know the people that we are. Like if we would have been together had we not had the kids. That's just my transparent moment.
Nah, bro, I ain't gonna lie.
We wouldn't be together, right?
Ooh, we probably-
But anyway, so as I go through my cry girl phase, I just want to say, like, people be sensitive to other people. Right now, I'm very blessed to be a mom because I never thought that was going to be my reality. So if y'all see me crying about something special to my kids, y'all know, like, this for me is amazing because I do get to experience these moments. And IVF is what got me there. So if someone has questions, we didn't answer a lot of questions on the podcast, but if you want to know like details or something, I'm very open about that journey. Now I am because I am very far removed from the pain I was feeling at the time. I am saying now. So
that's
talk
so
about it.
interesting because that wasn't my experience. Like my faith is really strong. So for me, it was more so the process that was hard. Like God told me like a long time ago, like you're gonna get your baby, but it ain't gonna be in your time and the way you want it. It's gonna be the way that it's supposed to be. And so for me, it was like I never felt like, oh, I'm not gonna be a parent. I felt like, oh shit, this is hard. Oh, this next thing. Oh, I thought it was gonna be this time. And it was just more, I think, frustrating because it's like when you know you're gonna get to the end result, but it's like, oh, I got this next hurdle. Oh, I got to do this other thing. Oh, I thought I was almost there. Oh, like my daddy when I was a kid, he used to have this sign up, and it said every time I'm about to make ends meet, somebody move the ends, and that's how I felt. And I was like, dang, like I know this is all gonna come together. I have faith that it's all gonna come together, but like for real, And so, I don't know. Like for me, it's just like it feel like nobody moved.
That's good. I understand what you're saying because I definitely felt like things were placed in my path to keep me going. So someone would tell me something and then I'd go there. And like it was just pieces to keep us going along this path. So I definitely think God placed those in our pathway. because I could have gave up 5,000 times before we actually did. It's just, to me, it was so many no's and so much heartbreak before we got there, which is why I felt like I don't know if this is ever gonna happen for me.
See, for me, it was like, it's real different because like I never wanted kids. Like I didn't want kids at all until like I feel like every time I talk, my nose runs. It's like I'm good, and then I talk, and like my nose runs. I know the people at the crib was like, his nose is a mess.
Cocaine, a hell of a drug.
No. So like for me, it went from this is not something I want to okay, this is something that I want. This is gonna happen. Like I believe it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then we were so locked in the first time to where when we didn't have the successful when the pregnancy test came back negative, it was like, but bruh, like that just how I talk to God. I'm like, bruh, like God told you I wanted this though. Like what's happening? Like, I mean, what more do you want me to do? And
I don't know if you remember where I used to tell you we're not gonna get pregnant till you.
no, yeah, yeah, I remember that. I was gonna say that today, but I'm glad you mentioned that. So like once I don't know, I realized it was kind of on me. And I was like, well, that's weird. But that was before we knew we had to go IVF. And it was like, well, I'm serious about this now. And it was like, oh damn, we trying. Oh, it's not us. This is something outside of our control. So I don't know. Once we're pretty determined, I don't think there's anything that we've said that we've wanted collectively that we haven't been able to accomplish. Like literally everything that we've set out to do collectively, we've done. So this is just another one of those things on the checklist. And I was just like, it's only a matter of time. And the time is almost now. And then I don't know, she liked hearing my voice, which is cool to me. Like, that's so dope. I like to talk a lot. I don't know if y'all noticed this or not. So the fact that I have another person who likes to hear me talk, awesome. So awesome. I'm ready for that.
I don't think we've set out to do anything that we haven't accomplished either. I think that's amazing to say. It does feel good.
I'm trying to be skinny. I ain't accomplished that yet.
Told you to get the little lipo.
Man,
Oh my God.
Food is just too delicious. But you touched on something, DJ. I know we run a little bit over time, but I guess that's why we the boss. We can do what we want to do. But you said, when you didn't really see yourself having kids. What was that transition in your mind? It's like, you know what? I think I do want to do this. I want to take that journey.
So honestly, it was we had a conversation about it. And Sara was like, look, if that's not something that you like, if this is not something that you want, I'm good with that. Like my life is good the way it is. It's us. But like if that's something that you want to do, like let's be for real about it. And I was like, okay. So the pressure was removed. There wasn't no pressure on me to be like, I want to have a baby, give me a baby. You feel me? I don't like to operate from that space. She knows that about me. Good to know that about me. So I think for me that it was very easy to walk into a high stress situation, knowing that there wasn't stress up front. I think it's what made the most sense. I knew we could afford it.
I was about to say, I feel like the finances.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why it took so long. Like and shout out to my people. Like I don't want to make it seem like my people ain't provide. Like we had everything that we needed and then some. But like that's in LA, that just feels like nothing, which is crazy. That sounds super privileged to say, and I recognize that. But it felt like nothing. So like I knew I wasn't financially sound. I wasn't making good financial decisions up until like 7 years. I was really making just terrible money moves. I didn't want to bring somebody into this world while I was making terrible. I make better money decisions now. So I'm only gonna keep doing better from here. Might as well have me and shit. You
Well,
feel?
they say we as men, we really don't really come to our own until it's around mid-30s anyway.
That's clearly how it went for me. Bruh. So when you a jerk for this booger sugar, bro, I just saw that. You're hilarious.
Put it up. That's why I'm glad the iPad died. That's a new put it.
Oh, that is too funny. Yeah, that's
You
that's
got
what it
something
was.
you
for
want
me.
to close it out with?
Nah, babe, I'm good. You close out.
Well, we all said something, so it was just your turn, and you asked the question.
I'm sorry. I'm done. So I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of the Boss Best podcast.
This is the rest of the Boss
I'm-
podcast. What are you
I
talking
don't
about?
know if it's gonna be another question.
I'm
So
gonna-
so what y'all want to end the show with?
So for people who are unsure as to whether or not IVF is something that you can do, if you can afford to do it, and there are jobs that you can get that will help you pay for it. There are financial, there are loans and whatnot you can get to help you pay for it. There's ways to make it happen if you want to make it happen for real. If that's something that you're really trying to do it. Trust me, do it. You won't regret it. And for people who are like wondering if their person is the person for them, like listen to what was said amongst Kevin and Edwina, amongst me and my wife, about the decisions that were made early on. Like they slept on the floor together to make sure that they could be in a position to have another generation. You know what I'm saying? Like I made the decision to marry you because I know that you want to have kids. Like these are very serious situations. This is very heartfelt and thoughtful. Make sure your person is considering you. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't make a move without considering this person. I used to make a gang of moves without considering her. I thought it was lame as hell to do that. But like I don't make moves without considering her. And I think that gave me the practice that I needed to be a parent. You feel me? Like, I'm never making a move without considering my daughter. Like, that's just always gonna be in the forefront. But like, I had practice, if that makes sense. So, get you somebody that's gonna hold you down.
Terrence Brown said, "Love you guys."
Oh, that's my
We love you
bro.
too.
That's my bro.
I'll also say, in addition to
Love
what
you,
he
shit.
said, like in considering IVF, like it's a lot of people who will keep trying, kind of, but like what Kevin was saying, like people will say, "Oh, just keep trying, keep praying, whatever." But I really am an advocate for like if you feel like something ain't right, don't feel like it's stigmatized to get your fertility check. Like I'm very glad that after a certain amount of time when we were really ready, that I went and asked my doctor those questions because like literally I would not have known that, you know, 10, almost 12 years prior that a doctor had done something to me that put me in a position that I couldn't have a baby, you know? And so getting that test and being willing to face up to it if that was what was going on was what started this journey for us. And we're so happy and excited that we're about to have a baby now. But if we weren't really willing to face that reality, then we wouldn't be in this position.
One last thing, I'm sorry. Vulnerability. Like, I think, hell, that's probably should be the V in IVF is vulnerability. Like, you got to be real vulnerable. Like, you're literally risking it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you putting a whole lot of money on the line, a whole lot of time, effort, and energy on the line. Like, you damn near putting your relationship on the line because depending on how bad one of you wants it, that might be the difference in how long you guys do or don't stay together. So like you have to be willing to be vulnerable and understand that like it is a joint team effort. Guys, you might not be carrying a baby, but like you're a lot of the emotional backbone. So like you gotta be present. You have to be present, right? You gotta be present. Gotta be there. Find you some space to recharge, but you gotta be present every step of the way. Because it's a y'all thing. It ain't just her, it's y'all.
Was you gonna say something, sir? All right. So as we end the Boss Fest podcast tonight, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to us. I want to thank you guys for sitting at the boss table with us and telling your story. I know it was a touching. We didn't answer a lot of questions in the chat, but a lot of people felt, what was being said. So I thank you. It's not always easy to share your story. We will see you guys next Wednesday. You guys have a happy holiday tomorrow. I will also be live on Friday with Edwina Rants.
With Edwina the Whispers.
I may go into detail about some of the things from
You said Wiener.
Listen, I was at my 9 to 5 trying to do my last rant, but I'm consistent. I'm trying to be consistent. Don't do me.
I'm sorry.
Don't.
I just want you to rant.
I'm gonna rant about you on Friday.
You do that every damn day.
You're right.
Just put some passion behind it if you're gonna do it.
Anyway, let's move on. So thank you guys for tuning in to us today. I hope you gained something from tonight's story. Again, if you have any questions or they weren't answered, please reach out in the inbox. We are very open now about our IVF journey, and we hope that it can help someone out there. So until next week, y'all be.
Oh, Steve.